I'm your host, Ariel.
And I'm your host, Joshua.
And we're the Midnight Guild. Hey, guys.
Welcome back.
It's so good to see you guys. Honey, I done messed up on our last episode. There was supposed to be one last week.
It was a good one, too.
It was good. It was about the Bennington Triangle. Honey, I edited that whole thing. Got ready to upload it. I don't know what I did, but I deleted the whole thing. Couldn't get it back.
Bless her heart.
Done made the thumbnail and everything, honey. I was upset.
Honey, she had poured blood, sweat, and tears.
It was
into this.
So upsetting. But, honey, here we are, and Josh has got us a doozy.
I do.
But let me just tell you, there has been stuff going on in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy shit.
All right. So, in today's episode of Current Events.
Y'all, honey, Annabelle.
Little Annabelle, bless it. Well, I mean, they need to. It's demonic.
They've been taking Annabelle, the doll. If you don't know what it is, honey, look that shit up.
And she's traveling
around the U.S. and, honey, leaving just catastrophe after catastrophe
all over the
in
place.
her wake.
All over her place. Yes, her last stop, Louisiana, and I'm sure we've all heard what happened to the Nottaway home down there, honey. Burnt, honey. Yeah, the Nottaway is no more.
Yeah, it was a plantation, but apparently this plantation was like, what was it, sugarcane?
Yeah, it was a sugarcane plantation.
And apparently that might have been one of the, the worst ones.
So I've heard.
And so, honestly, it sucks that history is gone. But at the same time, in these videos on TikTok, if you be watching them, you can see spirits rejoicing.
Go look it up, honey. The ancestors, honey, they at peace now.
Yeah, you can see it. It's
wild.
It's wild. Crazy to see in the flames because it looks like in some videos it looks like they're dancing, and then other ones you can just see faces. And then there's actually one where the fire has been put out.
Yeah, and then it reignited.
Did it?
Yeah. They had the fire out early on, and then it reignited, and it never would burn out.
Wow.
Never would burn out. It is very, very, very bizarre to see. I suggest y'all look the videos up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like I said, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not really what you say on the fence about it burning down. Like, honestly, I'm just like, honey, one less plantation in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, Toby with an I.
Toby, that's not very nice.
Honey.
Heavens.
Anyhow, but it's definitely something to see. Go check it out. And apparently little Annabelle is headed to Pennsylvania next, if I'm not mistaken.
Lord, honey, as long as she don't come to Tennessee.
If I'm not mistaken, that's where she is headed next.
But I feel like this is so stupid, and I'll tell you why. They're taking her around, and if you know the Annabelle story, you know how horrible it is and how scary it is. And if you've seen the movies, you get it. By taking this doll around, it doesn't matter that it's in a box, a blessed box, whatever. You're giving that doll so much more energy.
Oh, most definitely.
And so much more attention or whatever. And I'm like, you're just fueling.
And then people are coming to see it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you're just fueling the evil that is within inside. No.
I might.
See, I wouldn't. Dolls.
I mean, I don't want to touch it or nothing. I just want to see it.
Yeah, no, dolls scare me, so absolutely not. I would. No, thank you. No, hell no.
Okay.
But I just think that if Ed and Lorraine Warren were alive now, they'd be. First of all, this would never happen. Ed and Lorraine Warren literally warned all of us and said, do not touch this doll. Yeah. Don't give this doll attention. Don't be talking about it. Don't be doing this. And look at us, over probably half the world is talking about this doll.
Well, so from what I gather, and now it is loosely gathered,
right?
Like TikTok gathered, the estate of is it Ed and Lorraine? Yes, the Warrens. Something about, because it used to be in their house, if I'm not mistaken.
Where they had the museum, where the haunted items.
And I guess something happened where they could no longer run it as a museum. I'm not sure what.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what brought on this new, like an exhibition of Annabelle. because I think that they could no longer run their museum as a museum. But no, feel free to fact check me. I'm not saying that that's true.
But it's just loosely gathered.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I've seen a couple TikTok videos on it, so it could be true.
Right.
All right. What else is going on, honey? We had a wedding this weekend.
We did.
Mean, not like any of ours.
Yeah. My sister-in-law Ashton got married, and honey, let me just tell you, here in Tennessee, the wind was winding.
It was winding hard.
We couldn't even have the centerpieces out because it didn't matter what we put in those centerpieces.
I felt so bad.
There was a hammer. Okay, so my husband was using like this big mallet hammer, hammering like these metal fence posts to stabilize the arch because the arch kept falling over. Yeah. The wind blew this big ass mallet hammer off a table.
And who was up on the ladder trying to decorate that arch in the middle of a windstorm? Me. I almost died 3 times, honey. 3 times I almost died.
I didn't know nothing about it. I was in here putting on the bride's makeup. So I knew none of this was happening. But boy, as soon as I walked out the door, he said, Ariel, I've almost died 3 times in the amount of time you've been gone.
I swear to God, not one of them straight men will get on that ladder.
But honey, he did.
Not one of them. I was like, honey.
He was trying to save the day.
I swear, honey.
No, the wedding was, once the wind died down, honey, the wedding was beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, honey, once the sun went down too, oh, gorgeous.
Oh, my gosh, gorgeous. She had all kinds of beautiful bulb lights made in like this big, 2 big squares over the tables. On the
Riviera.
It was so, so pretty.
It was. It was lovely.
Just that damn wind. But I did tell Ashton, the shittier the wedding, the better the marriage.
Yes.
Because me and Jesse had the worst wedding. We call it the worst, best day of our life.
Oh.
It was a nightmare of a day. But I'll tell you this right now, knock on wood, we have an excellent marriage, and I hope it always stays that way. So I always say the shittier the wedding, the better the marriage, honey. So take that to the bank.
And I always say the shittier the man, the better the life insurance and policy needs to be.
Well, thank God she married her good. So she did. Congratulations, Ashton and Michael. We love you guys so much.
Many happy returns.
Yes, love you guys so much. And the wedding was chef's kiss. We had a ball.
It was really good. Yes, I did have a ball.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Josh was the life of the party.
I try.
Honey, which he always is. Honey, there's something about a gay man and the straight women will flock. Me, okay. So for example, his best friend Jenny.
Yes.
Hey, Jenny. She watches every episode. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, faithful follower.
Yeah. Honey, she is our #1 fan.
She is.
So, Josh's bestie for the breastie, Miss Janae, which is also my mother-in-law. But we're not that far apart in age. We won't get into that. So, we're like 2 peas in a pod. Like, we just get along really, really well. And so, me and Jenny were just socializing or whatever. Josh kept going missing every now and again. And I started cleaning up because it was at the end of the night. And Jenny goes, hey, look behind me. You see Josh? And I looked behind her and I was like, I kid you not, Josh was surrounded by 4 different straight women. I mean, in a huddle. And you just see Josh over there. just kikiing with these girls.
Honey, let me just go ahead and say that a lot of punch had been partaketh. Yes, and it was my mama's church punch with a little bit of sin, and it packs a kick, and it'll pack a wallop.
But you can't taste it. You cannot taste the alcohol, son, honey. It'll get you in trouble.
And obviously, it was a very sunny day too, honey. Which thank the Lord, honey. We manifested, we prayed, honey. We proclaimed it in the name of the Almighty that we was going to have a sunshiny day, but I swear we didn't specify the wind. We didn't because the Lord gave us a beautiful day, but that wind, honey. But honey, as soon as that sun went down, I'm like, why is my forehead on fire? And he wasn't joking, honey. He's burnt. I'm burnt, honey. Yes. Burnt. My ginger is out in full force today. It is, honey. No lie. No lies detected. For the next 2 days, he was like, Errol, my head is on fire. It was like a burn. My head is on fire. But it was worth it. I'd do it again for Ashton and Michael. Absolutely. You know, next time we're just going to have some SPF. That's all. You know, I will say, I will never host a wedding again because it was at my house. Yeah. I will. It has nothing to do with Ashton and Michael. Not at all. It's just the people that come to the wedding. And if they see this, fuck them. I'm making no comment. I had a good time with them.
You're so fake.
Well, I had a good time with most of them.
Yeah, most of them. But some of them were rude, honey.
Well, there was like 2.
Well,
maybe 3.
Yeah.
But fuck them. We ain't worried about them, honey.
Well, honey, I was just a nervous wreck because, when it's your house or whatever and you're afraid that something might happen, you freak out.
I wasn't freaked out. But then again, I had also had a lot of punch.
He had a lot of punch. I'd only had 2 cups of punch.
I was pretty much, good to go.
He was living his best life.
I was, honey. Oh, my suit was fabulous.
Oh,
and her dress.
Honey, we didn't take a damn single picture.
Not one picture together, no. But I will say that me and Jenny photographed very well together that day.
Oh, good. So I'll put a picture up of Josh and Jenny so you can see his suit and Jenny's outfit.
She looked really good too.
And then I'll put up a photo. There's a photo of me and Michaela.
Okay.
And you can't see my whole dress, but you can see the top of it, and it's really pretty.
It was really pretty.
I have a picture of me and Jesse from another wedding that I'm wearing the exact same dress. Honey, I'll insert here so you know what we looked like.
Yeah. So,
pause for dramatic effect.
Right. It's like, pause, 3, 2, 1, action. Bam. All right. Are we, is there anything else going on?
I'm trying to think. I don't really.
That's like noteworthy.
We did have somebody reach out that wants to be on the podcast. I won't say her name yet because we're going to have a meeting with her and get the dates. You don't remember me telling you this last night?
No. When was this? Before or after dinner?
During dinner. I told you about it.
I'm sorry. Oh, probably not then. No.
We have a follower. No, it's not. It's not Crazy Girl.
We can't cut that out. You can't call her crazy.
No, they're not going to know who we're talking about.
Ariel, cut that out.
There's no way they'll know who we're talking about. I'm not cutting it out.
Swanee.
They're not going to know who we're talking about at all. Nobody is. She's not even going to know.
Oh my God. Well, okay. Anyhow, so apparently someone has reached out to us. Thank you for reaching out to us, honey. I thought, if I'd paid more attention, then I would have known about it already. But I was eating a really good hamburger. So I'm like, honey, when it's between me and food, well, I ain't listening. I'm eating.
So I told her we'd set up a meeting and everything and then get the podcast date squared away or whatever. So we're going to have our first guest on the podcast here soon. And honey, speaking of Janae.
Oh, yeah.
Honey, Jeannie's going to come on the podcast.
Yes.
We're going to have a cult episode.
Yes.
And Jeannie is going to fill us in on all of the Stanley Valley gossip about the cult that is coming into her backyard, basically.
The cult that is coming to our hometown.
Yes. So we're going to blind react to their website, all that jazz. And Jenny will fill us in on the Stanley Valley gossip. All right, let's think here. Is there anything else? My sisters have agreed to come on the podcast. I just haven't got them to figure out when. They're going to tell about their own experiences.
Tell them we need some sponsor money. They promised us on our first episode.
Ridiculous.
Haven't received one check from them.
Haven't received a dime.
And look, and we even promote all of their stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Caldwell Creations.
Yeah, Victoria.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it's in the mail, babe.
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
I'm sure it's in the mail.
But other than that, I really can't think of anything like current event-wise.
Honestly, me either. Nah.
I've not really been online that much. I've been overtaken at the wedding.
Honey, I've been online, but honey, I've been on Black TikTok lately because, they're my new cousins. So,
hey, we haven't talked about that on the podcast. We only did a TikTok on it. So you could talk about that for a second.
Yeah. Okay, so in recent news, the ginger community, excuse me, I'm so sorry, because we're not supposed to use that hard ER no more. So it's the gingers. Although now they have coined the phrase red velvet, which I'm really liking that. I like to be called red velvet.
Right.
They have taken in the gingers to their community, and we love. We are now either black or we're just kind of like
grandfathered in.
Yeah. Which either way, honey, I'm on board. Listen, I will show up to the cookout with my paper plates, honey, my drinks, whatever you need, because I was told I can't cook for the first cookout. You have to prove yourself, which is fine. I understand, honey. A lot of people get confused with this. Well, I guess I'm not white folk no more. A lot of people get confused with, the white folk and the melanin challenged folks here. Honey, I may look white, but I'm not afraid of salt white. But yeah, it's actually been honestly, I think it might have started out as like a joke, but honestly, it's become into a very beautiful kind of reaction.
And people have done their research.
There's a lot of research, which we won't go into all that because it involves like the gene that makes us redheaded.
Yeah. Honey, everybody on TikTok's talking about it.
But honestly, it is, to me personally, it's an honor, honey, to be part of the community. Baby, I always knew, honey, because like I said on the TikTok, honey, every gay man's dream is to be an independent black woman. Yes, Lord, honey, I'm here for it, living for it. Power to the people.
Amen,
yes, honey.
We have got a bunch of new TikTok followers.
Yeah, we have, honey. Welcome, cousins. Hey, fam. So, can't wait to see you.
And thank you so much for following us. It means the world to us. We love you all.
It really does, honey. Hashtag the Gilders.
Hashtag the Gilders.
Welcome, honey. Everybody, honey, because here we love y'all, honey. We'll treat you so many ways, you're bound to like one of them.
See how I did that?
What?
While you were looking at it, you said, we'll treat you so many ways, you're bound to like one of them. I copied you. I went, like that right there. No, not in a bad way. Just, I knew that's what you were going to say.
All right. So, no, I'm kidding. Moving on to, well, I mean, a little bit, sometimes depending on the person.
Oh.
What?
I have to tell them a story about the wedding.
Okay, which one?
About, honey, you escorted people out.
Oh.
So Josh had enough, honey. He was like, listen, it is time for the people to leave because I had asked them twice to leave nicely. It was the end of the night, honey. Okay. I'd asked them numerous times. The groom had asked them numerous times to leave, and people were just not leaving, honey. Josh had enough because he was in that punch deep. He literally told them, he gets up loud as he can. He's, all right, it's been real good seeing y'all. Now listen, y'all get on, get you to go play, anything like that. It was real good seeing you. Now when you go home, you watch for them deer on the way home, honey. Be careful. Safe travels, but you can go somewhere, but you can't stay here, honey. Time to go. Time to get on. He said that 10 times.
They weren't leaving.
They weren't leaving.
So finally, honey, I just started escorting them to the cars.
He did. I was so grateful, too, because I was over it. I was so over it. I was like, I'm ready to clean up and go to bed, bitch.
And, you know, honey, I was past the point of proper.
Yeah, you'd had enough.
My good manners, honey, they
had went out the window.
Yeah, about 4 shots prior, honey. And that's the groom's fault right there because he kept coming over. We ain't had a shot. Yes, we have.
Yes, we have.
Have another. And it's my wedding day.
But we love Michael.
We do. He's a good one. He is.
Couldn't ask for a better one. We love Michael.
He is. He's a good one. They both did so good. They both looked beautiful.
They look like they walked out of a damn wedding magazine.
They did. Thank God I got a hold of him for a wedding, honey, because I was like, let me fix you.
Let me fix you. Honey, Ashton looked like, I'll put a picture of Ashton and Michael up. Ashton looked like she walked out of a fucking fairy tale.
She was gorgeous. She
looked so stunning. Like, she was so excited and so happy this day. I mean, she just had such a glow about her, and she just radiated happiness. She looked stunning.
Oh, yes, very much so. And like I said, it was a great time. It truly was. We had a good time. Honey, it just ran a little late.
And we were all just tired from getting beat the hell up by the wind.
And, honey, if there's one thing that a fine Southern lady or a fine Southern gentleman knows, it's when to leave.
It's when to leave.
Honey.
That's one thing we learned in the South. The first thing when you are little and you get it, never outstay your welcome.
Oh, never, honey. Never. Absolutely. And never show up unannounced. Honey, my mama always said that's the highest form of rudeness.
Is to show up unannounced. Honey, I can't stand that. So we're getting off topic again. We're sorry. We just had us a big weekend. We want to take it.
Okay, so circle back with us, honey. Circle back. Got us a doozy here today, honey. A doozy. Yes, it's about a town bully, and you heard that right. A town bully. All righty. Anything else before we offer?
No, honey, I'm ready. I'm ready to hear all about this.
Let's just dive right in.
Honey, Josh is taking over today.
Yes, honey. Sit right down and hear a tale. No. All right. So today we are going to talk about Ken McElroy I'm hoping I'm saying that last name right. Well, I don't really care.
We'll just say you are.
He's a douchebag anyhow, so I ain't really worried about to say his name right. All right, so Kenny here. He was born on June 1st, 1934. He was number 15 of 16 children.
Dang.
Yep, to a poor migrant tenant farming couple named Tony and Mabel. Tony and Mabel McElroy. The family kind of bounced back and forth. I think it said between Kansas and like the Ozarks, things like that. And they finally settled in a small little town called Skidmore, Missouri.
What a name.
Isn't it Skidmore? Never mind. So, fast forward a little bit. Ken dropped out of high school. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He dropped out of 8th grade at the age of 15.
So he was right there. Oh, so he failed a couple times.
Yeah. And after that, he quickly gained a reputation around town as a cattle rustler, which apparently is a bad thing, not a good thing.
Oh.
A small-time thief and a man whore.
Oh, snap. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So and like I said, this started at the age of 15 for him. Well, I mean, it probably started before, but that's when I guess things started actually escalating. Yeah. He was suspected of several crimes from stealing grain to gasoline, alcohol, antiques, and livestock.
So what wasn't he stealing, basically?
Exactly, pretty much. Charges were brought against him 21 times.
Damn.
But each time he escaped these charges, usually he would intimidate the witnesses or the victims or things like that. He would stalk them.
Jesus.
Sit outside their house for hours on end, make threats to them.
Ooh.
He had him a good attorney, though, let me tell you. He was always represented by the same attorney, and his name was Richard Dick McFadden of Gallatin.
Gallatin.
I hope I'm saying this all right.
I just feel like you are.
We'll see.
But if you're not, I like the way you're saying it, so.
Well, I tried to write it all down, to put my own little spin on things. But see, I don't write the best. That's my only thing, honey. Anywho, so Kenny, remember I said he was a man whore.
Right. Okay.
All right. So apparently he was a womanizer too, honey. And he had more than 10 children with different women and young girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so now it is about to just to get in a little foreshadowing here. We are about to discuss
PDFphilia.
Yeah. And so just want to warn you if that's upsetting or triggering
maybe
for you.
Maybe skip through a little bit.
Maybe skip this part. Because two main people here is he had a wife. Oh, Kenny did. Her name was Alice.
Okay.
So remember that he's married to Alice. Now he met his, and this is his second wife, Alice is.
Okay.
So he met his third wife named Trina McLeod.
Okay.
While he was still married to his second wife named Alice.
Okay.
All right. Trina was 12 years old.
Shut up.
And in 8th grade, Ken was 35.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. Ken, he raped Trina repeatedly for over a year. Trina got pregnant when she was 14 with Ken's baby.
Oh my God.
And she dropped out of high school. She then ran away from home and she moved in with Ken and his wife, Alice.
What?
Yeah. So now this upset her family, her mom and daddy. It upset her. So, they're trying to bring charges.
Well, of course.
Of statutory rape.
Yeah.
To avoid these charges, Ken divorces Alice and he marries Trina.
How could he do that without her parents' permission?
Well, again, now this is going back to the 70s.
Okay,
so things were a little different,
okay.
I'm sure, in Missouri. So he divorces Alice and he marries Trina. Now, Trina's parents were not happy about this. They did not want this to happen.
Right.
Which, I mean, you know, their 14-year-old is marrying a
and now has babies.
Grown up, yeah. With a baby on the way, grown ass man.
Oof.
She better bullet my hand then. Anyway, never mind. Bleep that out. Sorry.
But she ain't wrong.
So they, like I said, they were opposed to the marriage. So Ken takes things into his own hands, and he goes and he just pretty much threatens them into agreeing to let this marriage proceed.
Oh, wow.
He burns their house down.
Son of a...
Yep.
Damn.
And he shoots their dog. Yeah. So they reluctantly they let Ken
marry their daughter.
Yeah, marry their daughter. So after the baby was born, now Alice is apparently still, I guess, in the picture at this point in time, but she is no longer Ken's wife.
Right.
So after the baby's born, I think it said 15 days after the baby's born, Trina and Alice run away.
Oh, wow.
And
they don't take the baby?
Well, yes, they take the baby too. And they go to Trina's parents' house, their new house that they built.
Okay.
And I can't remember if it says the family was there, like her family was there or not. I feel like they weren't there. But anyway, Ken, he tracked them down to bring them back and burned down the McLeod's second house and shot their new dog.
How was this man getting away with it?
Well, like I said, he dodged it every time. A lot of times he would intimidate or threaten. And I mean, I guess a lot of people were actually like afraid of this man.
Yeah, they had to.
So in 1973, because I mean, Ken and Trina was, I can't remember what year they were married, but it was a little bit before 1973.
Okay.
Just given by what the story tells. In 1973, Ken was indicted on arson, assault, and statutory rape. He was arrested, booked, arraigned, and released on a $2,500 bail. Yeah,
just $2,500.
I know. Which it was 1973, but still, I'm just like, wow.
That's crazy.
A little bit. Trina, who, you know, it didn't really give her age at this point in time, but she's under the age of 18.
Right.
Because she went into her and her baby both were placed in foster care.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And it was foster care in a different town. I didn't write that town down because,
Right.
Yeah. So Ken gets out on bail, you know, his wife, his teenage bride.
Yeah.
And his baby are at a foster care house. So what does Ken do? Ken decides that he's going to sit outside this foster, like the foster house, the foster home. Right. He sits outside these people's house for hours and hours and hours on end.
Wow.
He watches them. He studies them. He memorizes their biological daughter's bus routes. And then he threatens them that pretty much they will, like he threatens to abduct their daughter, their biological daughter.
Oh my God.
And do a trade for Trina, girl for girl.
Wow.
Yeah. So now additional charges were filed at this point in time.
Right.
But nothing really came of it. If anything, he never spent a lot of time in jail. He was always bailed out. Witnesses wouldn't, show up. They
were too scared.
Yeah, they were too scared of him. So in 1976, Romaine Henry, he was a farmer down in Skidmore.
Okay.
He alleged that Ken had shot him twice with a shotgun after Henry challenged him for shooting weapons on his land. So Ken was trespassing, shooting stuff, and he wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
Old Farmer Henry told him no. Ken shot him. So Ken was charged with assault with intent to kill. Ken denied these allegations, and the court case, like I said, honey, I don't even know if they have a courthouse. Apparently, the time that it's taken here, Like I ain't so sure about the criminal justice system.
Amen.
But as the trial kind of drug out and stuff, Ken would park outside Henry's house for upwards of he parked outside of his house upwards of 100 times.
Good Lord,
Yeah.
he was dedicated.
Most definitely. When the trial finally did come, 2 mysterious raccoon hunters showed up, and they testified that pretty much they were shooting away from the farmer's property, that they wasn't actually doing anything wrong, and his lawyer, old Dick McFadden, pressured the farmer into admitting of like his own petty crimes. He'd been convicted of a crime 30 years prior, and because of that, he had a criminal record and all that good stuff. And old Ken got acquitted.
Wow.
Of this. Hold on, it gets better. It gets better. Just hold on tight. All right. So now we've moved up to 1980. All righty. Best decade ever, they say. Let me take a little sip here. So, in 1980, one of Ken's many children got into an argument with the clerk. Her name was Evelyn Sumi, and she worked at Bo Bowenkamp's grocery store in Skidmore. Apparently, the kid was trying to steal a candy or something like that.
Okay.
Well, that didn't sit right with Ken. So what's he start doing? He starts stalking Bowenkamp, who, if I'm not mistaken, is like the 70-year-old man.
Dear Lord.
And his wife is named Lois. I mean, Bo and Lois. Don't they just sound like a cute little Americana couple? How are you going to be mad at them?
For real.
So eventually, like I said, it escalated from just stalking. So finally, Ken one day goes into Bo's store, and they get in this altercation in the back. I think it's actually like on the back loading docks or something, if we're being precise. And Ken ends up shooting Bo in the neck with the shotgun that he had brought with him.
Wow.
Yep. Bo didn't die, though. Thank God. Little Bo didn't die. Little Bo was fine.
Good.
Ken was then arrested, and he was charged with attempted murder. Ken was actually convicted at trial, but released on bail pending another trial.
Yeah.
I guess for sentencing or whatnot.
Yeah.
So immediately after they posted bail, he gets out. What's he do? Well, he just goes on over to the local watering hole, the little D&G Tavern. And he has a rifle. It has like a bayonet on the end. And he starts threatening Bo. What he's going to do to Bo. He's going to kill him. He's going to do this. Anyone who comes up against him, he's going to take them down. Well, pretty much pissed off the townspeople. Yeah. And so they decided that it's time for them to see what they can do legally so that Ken doesn't, harm anybody else. Yeah. Because, I mean, he's pretty much, bullied the whole town. Yeah. Several accusations of assault, rape, theft, arson, just a really, stalking. Yeah, just a really horrible human being. So, and again, as it seems to be the town way of life when it comes to the court systems, this hearing was delayed once again. So it kept getting delayed for over a year. It did. Dear God. Well, the townspeople had finally had enough of Ken's shit. They're like, no. So all the citizens of Little Skidmore, they called a meeting over at the Legion Hall to discuss how to protect themselves against their town bully, Ken McElroy. Like a lot of the townspeople were there. There was the Nottoway County Sheriff, Dan Estes. Now, partway through this meeting that they're having at the Legion Hall, which the tavern, if I'm not mistaken, sits kind of catty corner to the because I actually watched a little video done on the town of Skidmore. So the Legion Hall's over here, then the little tavern's kind of like over here. Yeah, I can't see my hands, so it's fine. So anyhow, so while they're in this meeting talking about their options to take care of old Kenny, well, little Ken and Trina, honey, they show up at the little tavern, have them a little drink. And, the little buzz of a small town, honey, it gets back to the Legion Hall. Well, little Dan Estes, honey, he told them, he said, don't be getting into no altercation with them directly. Maybe you all need to think about forming a neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
All right. So then, Dan Estes, he got in his patrol car and he drove out of town.
How convenient.
So after the sheriff drove out of town, a lot of the townspeople, they leave the Legion Hall and they start filling up the tavern. Just one by one, just going in, filling it up till it's finally full. And from some of the reports that I've read and stuff, they're just staring old Ken down. So this makes Ken uneasy. So he decides he's going to finish his drink, get him a 6-pack of beer, and go drink at home. So he leaves old D&G Tavern.
With Trina.
Little Trina, bless her little heart. And they get into his little red pickup truck parked right outside. And no sooner, honey, did they get in that truck, does cascades of bullets start coming. There was several rounds shot, but only 2 actually struck him. Trina was not harmed in this at all.
Yeah, they weren't trying to hurt her.
She was actually pulled from the truck, screaming, covered in his blood, and she was taken up to the bank. Now, why they took her to the bank, I don't know, but that's where they took her. But here's the interesting part. Here's where it gets a little interesting. All righty. So, like I said, a whole storm of bullets come. Nobody knew who shot him.
Yeah, because there's so many bullets.
Yeah, there was 46 witnesses to Ken's unfortunate demise. And
unfortunate.
Not one person called an ambulance. Nobody called for help. The only person they helped was Trina get out of the truck. And that was it. So when the police finally did come, honey, they did this big investigation and everything. Not one person saw a thing. Nobody could identify the shooter.
Right.
Nobody knew
who had weapons.
Yeah, no one knew nothing. Honey, that's one of them. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. In fact, I'm blind in one eye. Like no one, 46 witnesses, and no one saw a thing. Even Trina couldn't pinpoint
who did
it. So finally, after this huge, big investigation, state investigation, the DA declined to press charges.
Yeah.
So a journalist came through named Steve Booher. I think I'm saying that right. Booher. Anyway, and he interviewed a lot of the people from the town. And again, not one person has, and to this day, it is still a cold case. No one has ever came forward.
The town banded together.
No one said nothing, honey. This town banded together, and they took out
their town bully.
Pretty much enemy number one.
Yeah.
But this journalist, Steve, he described the attitude of all the townspeople as a he needed killing kind of attitude.
Well,
and that is pretty much like I don't know why this little story fascinated me. It's
crazy.
I was watching this little TikTok video, and for the life of me, I can't remember the creator. If I would, I'd be happy to tag him. But he was actually doing a little tour of Skidmore, which I pretty much abandoned nowadays. Yeah. Which I'm sure if you wanted to watch it, you could most definitely look it up. I don't think it would be too hard to find. But he was taking you around the town and showing you where everything happened. And I was just so interested. I was like, look at that. I was like, look, the whole town, honey, banded together and took him on down.
Took him out, honey.
Now, can we condone,
of course, it's
the
wrong.
the essence
but at the
of
same time,
exactly. Now,
he was going to seriously hurt somebody.
We're
He had already tried numerous
we're not
times.
saying that, honey, we condone it, but let's just say we didn't see a thing.
We didn't see nothing.
Didn't see nothing, honey. Honey, my ears are blind.
Your ears are blind. We didn't see nothing. We didn't hear nothing. That is a good story.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
And that's pretty crazy. Because, like,
a little bit.
You never hear that.
A little bit.
Like, that's pretty great.
Honey, don't mess with, apparently do not mess with the residents of Skidmore, Missouri.
Honey. They don't take no shit.
Honey, no. Listen, their last fuck was given, and they,
46 witnesses.
46 witnesses.
We didn't see nothing. The end.
Honey,
that was really good.
Had a meeting. They had a meeting.
They literally had a meeting.
I love that the fact that the sheriff was just like, now, don't get into no physical altercation with him directly, all right? Start a neighborhood watch.
And then they just leave.
But I'm going to go down here out of town and do my patrol, all right? You all... I feel like there was a little hat, tip there. There's a hat tip and a little wink.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, there was a wink.
And then old Dan drove out of town, honey, and Skidmore
went.
Honey, it stood on business. They stood on business right there, honey. They stood on business that day.
Which, honestly, I'm just like, get it, Skidmore.
Right?
Get it.
Honey, I ain't mad at them.
I ain't mad at them at all.
I ain't mad at them. Listen, honey, and like if you do read, like you can read all the other stuff that he's done. It's like I skimmed the top,
surface.
honey. Yeah, he was not a good man, and I am sure that he's looking up now, just shaking his head.
Like, why? Why did I do that?
But apparently Trina, she did in the aftermath. She did file I guess it was a wrongful death suit or something like that against the town of Skidmore. And she did accuse 2 or 3 people of being the shooters, but no, they could never
prove it.
They could never prove it. So there was never even any charges. I can't remember how much the lawsuit was. It was a substantial amount of money, honey, but she ended up getting $17,000.
That's it.
Yeah.
Poor
and
Trina.
then, honey, then
not that he died.
Then
just
Trina moved away, and I'm pretty sure she got remarried, and if I remember correctly, died of cancer on her 55th birthday.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Because bless her, she went through a lot.
She did, honey. She had it rough, honey. And so did her little parents, honey. Burned down not 1, but 2 houses and shot both the dogs.
I know, that's so sad.
That's horrible.
Kenny had to go. Instead of Earl had to die.
Kenny had to die. Na, 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 na. Goodbye, Kenny.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
This was a good one. I liked it. It was a nice change of pace.
I thought so. I don't know why. Like, okay, so outside of the black TikTok and the ginger TikTok, because that's kind of where my For You page is kind of being lately. And apparently, like they're throwing in like a few like little vendetta stories, like not vendetta. That's wrong. Vigilante.
Vengeance? Oh, okay, vigilante.
That's the V word I was looking for. I'm not really good at all the V words, but
not you.
Not me, honey. Not I.
Not I. This was a really good one. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Honey, yes. Honey, and listen, for our second episode that we've got coming next, for our next episode, I should say, honey, Josh has got another good one lined up. It's going to be good. I know a little bit about it because he filled me in a little bit. I can't wait for y'all to hear it because it's good.
It's good. It's a good one, too. It's
another, like, fuck you to the system one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but other than that, I really don't have anything like that. We didn't wrap up at the beginning, like current event wise.
No, I don't think I think we pretty much, honey, we've covered it all. Covered it all,
honey.
Yes.
Guys, it has been, look, it's a long one. Guys, do you see? We didn't cut it short this time.
Well, look at us.
I know. We've been like every other one, we've had like little short ones, but I was like, today it has to be long, Josh. We've been leaving them hanging.
Honey, that's why I try to listen. I try to, range in that extra long Southern accent, to add a few more, add a few more syllables to everything. Yes, yes.
But guys, if you want to be on the podcast, please reach out to us. It's the Midnight Guild 10 at gmail.com. Sorry, every time, guys. Every time. I don't know why I don't just look at Josh and be like, tell him the email.
And be sure to follow us on all our platforms. We have TikTok. We have Spotify.
Lemonade.
We have Lemonade. And Facebook. And the OG YouTube.
And, of course, there's Spotify. If you want to listen to our full-blown episodes, you can find them on YouTube and Spotify.
Oh, wow.
But now on Spotify, on YouTube.
Yes, I was going to say.
You got to do a couple little things, okay? So you don't miss nothing. You're going to want to hit subscribe. And then right next to subscribe, you're going to see a little bell.
Ring a ding.
You're going to click that bell.
Click it.
And then you're going to hit all.
All.
And honey, you won't miss a thing.
Won't miss a thing, baby.
Not a thing, honey.
Bye, y'all.